Hey, Aldwyn, Altuney here. I am in Service Paradise. So great to be back home, and I am with some amazing people here who are a stand for the planet. In fact, they are from Extinction Rebellion. You might have heard the term Extinction Rebellion. In fact, a friend of mine, Dr. Alfred Zerfus in Melbourne, told me about the Extinction Rebellion protest in Melbourne not too long ago, and now my friend Paul Herman here has told me about it in Service Paradise. So I'm going to have a chat to some of these beautiful people here about what this is all about and how can we save the planet collectively. All right, over to you first, Paul. Hello.
G'day.
Paul Herman.
We just had an action to save the planet and to get awareness out about the risk of climate change on the Gold Coast, because it's very flood prone. In the last few months we've had really shocking fires in Queensland and in New South Wales. So and that's really impacted the cities as well. It's impacted all the big cities where smoke has come down over the cities, and it's affected people's health, especially elderly people or with respiratory illnesses. So it's something that's really impacting everybody, and we need our governments to stand up, and that's really become really obvious the last couple of weeks that our Prime Minister is missing in action. But there's heaps of people who've had something to say about that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. You're making a stand for the planet, and of course those that know you, Paul, also know that you're a stand for people to have fairer banking out there, right?
Yeah.
So you arrested the ANZ Bank for fraud again recently, is that right?
Yeah, look, I went to the AGM and I went to, I've done a number of protests outside the ANZ Bank, but today it's a really critical thing, it's a critical moment in our history for Australia, because we've got catastrophic fires and we've got a climate which is changing really rapidly, and we need to have government, we need to have the whole community pulled together. So we need to have people. We had some dickhead who came out and started punching a Greens person, and that's completely stupid. Australians need to be pulling together both right-wing people and left-wing people. It doesn't make any difference to the house if it's in the way of a fire. If you're left-wing or you're right-wing, it's still going to bloody well burn. And we need to find solutions to this, and Australians need to come together and work together for solutions. And when we've got a government, when we've got a Prime Minister who is corrupt because he's taking money from foreign coal miners who don't want to pay tax, are doing everything they possibly can to avoid paying tax and pollute the fuck out of the planet, that's not on. And so we need to take a stand. We need to take a stand if democracy is not working. Okay,
yeah.
So we've got an idiot Prime Minister who's not doing the job, and so please get involved. Please, we need good people in politics. We need to get the politics out of politics, and we need good people to take a stand who aren't going to be manipulated by big corporations who don't give a shit about Australia.
Nicely said, Paul. I love your passion. We'll come back to you in just a sec. Thank you for that. Now we've got MJ here as a firefighter. Hello, MJ.
Hi.
And how's it been for you? You said you were fighting fires recently on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. I was out in the Gold Coast hinterland, so they haven't seen fires out there like that before. Australia's in a really bad way at the moment, especially down in Victoria and New South Wales, and now in South Australia just recently. People are dying, people are suffering, wildlife suffering, and yeah, we need to do something about it. And we just want to acknowledge all the firefighters and community members down there who have lost their lives because of this climate catastrophe.
Yes.
And we've got a sign here, if you can donate in any way. There's a few web pages there if you'd like to donate to good causes. Money can go a long way.
Well, it's good to see the Koala Hospital in there. That's fantastic. I really, whenever I hear about fires, obviously it's devastating for the people that are affected, but there's millions of animals also affected, and it's just absolutely tragic. I get so sad when I think about all the poor animals out there.
500 million animals, they reckon 500 million animals have died. I think that's correct.
Wow, 500 million animals.
I reckon if you told us a little bit more about your experience of fighting the fires.
Yeah, what was it like?
I went out on the Gold Coast, and yeah, it it was you have to go wait for the fire to get to you because there's not much you can do with fighting fires like that, and defending people's properties and things like that. So yeah, a lot of backburning could be done, and yeah, it's just hard when you don't know how to fight these fires. I'm not speaking on behalf of the fire service, but that's just my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah, it's hard when we've never had fires like this before to know where to go from there.
So what happens if you're fighting a fire and you see an animal run out of the bush? What do you do?
If you're on the end of the hose, you can't drop the hose. So yeah, that animal's got out of the fire, obviously. But there's also wildlife carers on the ground as well. So we can call them and they'll come out and find the animal and get it to safety if it's injured.
So you've got the Port Macquarie Koala Hospital here, and you've got Wires as well. So wires.org.au. Is there an actual hotline? Do you know of a hotline for any of these animal organisations where people can actually just phone a number rather than getting on the web? Because that'll all take ages to get on the website and do all that.
You can easily just Google it as well, and the web page will come up, and all the information's on those pages. So RFS, New South Wales, Wires, the Koala Hospital, Port Macquarie, and the Salvation Army is collecting for all the communities, and they will distribute that money where it's needed.
Okay, well, we'll put a few links in the chat on this Facebook Live where people can donate and support some of these organisations. Yeah, look, great work that you're doing. As I say, my heart goes out to everyone affected by these fires. It's absolutely tragic. It's just absolutely devastating in so many ways. And you know, if only the Australians, the white Australians would learn from the Aboriginals on how they handled fires. In fact, maybe even get some Aboriginals on board to actually do some fire handling so that we don't have this kind of issue that happens. I think that would really help the whole situation as well, because the Aboriginals had it all under control, right? This never happened.
That's not exactly right. I would disagree with that.
Okay, let's get some conversation going on this.
A lot of these forests should only burn once every 80 years. Now, a lot of the forests are on a 6-year rotation to be burned. Now, it's not like there's a lot of scientific research that's just starting to come out, and the burning they're saying that it's better to really target the burning to around properties, maybe on roadsides as well, because dickheads come along and start these horrific fires. But it's really important that we have the best science and do the best sort of fuel reduction burns, because if you're running fuel reduction burns right through the forest, you're wiping it. You could start wiping out a lot of species, and you can also make the forest more flammable. So if you're burning on a 6-year rotation, the whole forest, you can make that whole forest more flammable. So the Aboriginal people used burning as a part of hunting and also as a part of warfare. So I think that we want to bring the best science to fuel reduction burning, and I think that Aboriginal culture and Aboriginal way of life it was a different thing, and it's not something. I don't know if we're trying to recreate that, or we don't need to hunt. We don't need to hunt kangaroos and do burning for creating grasslands, and restricting the forests. So it's a really complex situation, and we just need the best science.
Thank you, Paul. I think that's a very valid point. Now, I must say I don't know too much about how the Aboriginals handled fires, but someone did say to me in Woodford recently, where I was at the festival, they said the Aboriginals used to do little circular fires, and the animals would actually run away and they'd burn all the loose matter underneath the trees, and they wouldn't actually burn the trees down, but they did controlled fire burning like this too, so that there weren't huge fires. So I mean, I don't know too much about it, but it sounds like they had it under control, and obviously for millions of years the Aboriginals have been here, and I don't know that there's been any fires quite this bad ever. But anyway, in Australia, I don't know the stats on it, but if you have any ideas on it watching this, we'd love your opinion on that. And now you're a firefighter, you might know a bit more about how the Aboriginals manage fires and how the fire brigade manages fires. But is there anything you'd like to say about that topic?
Can't really say too much on that topic because it's very controversial at the moment.
Right.
But yeah, so we try and carry out hazard reduction burns when we can, which is called Operation Cool Burn within the cooler months. With the changing climate, I believe, and it's been last year has been shown that we weren't able to do as much. Here on the Gold Coast, that's what I know, but other parts of the state, I'm not sure what they would do. I did read somewhere that there was a lot of hazard reduction burns done, and these fires are still at a catastrophic level. So it's a bit controversial at the moment whether hazard reduction burns are actually working anymore. Because of the strategies that we're doing and how big these fires are.
So now for people watching this, because I know there's a lot of people I've been speaking to that are just so upset about what's going on and they don't know what they can do to help. So what do you suggest that people can do other than donate over here to all these organisations? What else can people do to help with this current situation with all these fires?
I don't know if there's a lot that we can do because the communities are cut off. If you don't live around there, you can't really drive there and drop donations off. But yeah, I think the donations is probably the best we can do at the moment.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you're in an area, if you live around near there, maybe offer up your bed. If you got a spare room or something, spare clothes. Maybe drop them off.
What about donating goods or food or anything like that? Is that some of these groups?
There is if you look up ABC donations, they did have a page on there which had a whole list of things where you could donate as well. So if you just have a Google, you'll be able to find if there's some way you can help out.
Fantastic, thank you. Well, that's brilliant work you're doing. And Paul, for those that don't know about Extinction Rebellion, how can they get involved with that? What's that all about?
Look, it'd be great if you wanted to get involved with Extinction Rebellion, but there's a lot of other groups that are really keen to protect the environment or work for conservation. And there's a lot of things that you can do. We need to shift our whole economy away from coal. So, Extinction Rebellion is about civil disobedience, but, you could organise your whole street to go solar and to install batteries, and it's a great investment. It's a really, really good investment. So, and it's an interesting type of civil disobedience. So, we want to stop what the government is doing, helping out the coal industry to keep continuously polluting the planet. It's just ridiculous. I actually am living in a place with solar at the moment. I'm getting free power. I mean, how good is that? It takes you about 4 or 5 years to pay for it off, and then for the next 20 years after that, you get free power.
That's brilliant.
It's really good.
Fantastic. Any other final words from anyone here? And good on you for doing your bit here today on a Saturday on the Gold Coast. Any other thing you'd like to say? Anyone here?
Support the RFS and encourage better funding for the RFS because they will need it in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. MJ, any final words?
Just get involved any way you can. Donate to RFS, and there's plenty of environmental groups around. So just join one, and you can make a difference.
Yes, get active. Or share this Facebook Live if you like what you see. Any other words, Paul?
Yeah, we just need long-term solutions. So we need governments that are going to do that, and we need people to step up. So get involved. Get involved in government, run for government, get involved with the political process, because we need to take control of the democratic process through democratic means. And Extinction Rebellion is, the people in it are so frustrated by the lack of action from governments that we've resorted to civil disobedience. And if you're frustrated, maybe you could join Extinction Rebellion, but get involved.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your great work. We've just talked to some of the people here in Surfers Paradise for the Extinction Rebellion protest, and I can see we've got a lot of thumbs up from people on the live. Thank you for joining us, Lynn, Brian, Chris, Ritza, Shanine, Glenn, Jessica, great to see you guys. And we can all all do our bit to help with this. As we can see, there's a whole lot of places to donate to. New South Wales RFS, the Fallen Firefighter Families, Salvation Army helping communities, Port Macquarie, Koala Hospital and Wires are just some of the groups out there doing their bit to help those affected by the fire. And our heart goes out to all of you, sending lots of love, praying for rain. I'm going to pray for rain for you guys because, and you know, it's interesting, Woodford, we had a few times when they were praying for rain and the rain came. So hey, you know, let's get that consciousness lifted out there and put some intention into more rain. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and remember to take action. That's the theme here today. Take action, do your bit, and together we can all make a difference. I'm Aldwyn signing out today. We will see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.